You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on E!
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the New York Jets and the Seattle Seahawks. This is taken at his 4. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down. And with this offense, what about DJ Fluker?
Came out of Alabama, could play tackle, could play guard. He's so big, Brandon, I think he plays both at the same time.
Green 80. 57 to Mike. I'm scared.
Looking to throw on second down. Wilson caught out left side by Robinson. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. A look now at the defensive starters for the Jets. They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Now it's Wilson. Brian Poole that time there to get a hand on it. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Jets for their initial possession of the game. Under center, it'll be the Southern California native standing at 6'4", Sam Darnold.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. The offensive starters now for the Jets.
I don't know about you, but I love a good undrafted free agent success story. So let's take a look at Robbie Anderson, wide receiver, because in 2017, 63 catches, 941 yards, and a strong candidate for the Pro Bowl. Didn't quite get there, but was knocking on the door. How about that for an undrafted free agent out of Temple, now making good in the NFL?
Ready? Watch tight. Tight ends right. Watch tight. Tight ends right.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession.
Dashing through the snow. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Allen Robinson, his 4th touchdown on the year. as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And that makes the score 7-0. Fielded about a yard deep. And there is a flag as he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. But who's this going to be against?
Defense.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. He's going to air one out for Anderson. He's got it at the 15. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Hauschka with the extra point. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Robinson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. Now on 2nd and 13, Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the 1st down marker. Third and long. It's Wilson. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Avery Williamson in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold gets this one to Le'Veon Bell. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on third down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30, running it, Washington. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13. After he cleared the line of scrimmage, nice little hole developed.
Yeah, he got great blocking right there at the start. But how about his vision, finding the open spaces and letting his feet carry him to him?
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. Throwing on second down, Darnold. He rifles one that's intercepted. Snags it for the pick, and the return stops at the 39-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our house.
Now it's Carson. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 7-7, our score after one. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it second down and 11. This is Carson. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Wilson's pass intended for Chris Carson. Incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the three.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. This Jets offense heading back out there now, led by Sam Darnold. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that second touchdown now. 11 yards there, first down. Good push up front, and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all.
54, right there, 54
On 2nd and 9, Darnold. That's complete over the middle to Anderson. Anderson loses the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
You know I love football. You know I love the game.
I hope so.
But nighttime in December, you know I'm wearing multiple coats. So I just wonder about the guys on the field with all the great gear that they have. Do they have enough on, or do they have too much on? Because sometimes that can affect you trying to carry the ball.
A throw on the quick slant, going to be complete. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Well, throw on first down with Wilson. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to him because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On second down, it's Carson. And he'll get this one down to about the 27.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And Myers able to knock it through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it down.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing is Wilson. And that's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
And he's got Lockett. 25 yards that time. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college...
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
A gain on the play.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Ja'Kai Polite able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, surprise, surprise. 1st and goal at the 1. No quarterback sneak. No running play. They decided to throw for it, but the pressure got to him quickly and put the quarterback down.
2nd down and goal. Wilson, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And he wasn't blocking or running it there. They tossed it to him.
And you remember the good old days when the 49ers were riding roughshod in the league? They used their fullback in pass plays all the time. Roger Craig, Tom Rathman, those guys were terrific at running these types of plays.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And our attention shifts here to the Seahawks defense. And a big reason they have the lead right now, as we see on the screen, their 3 turnovers.
And how about the emotion now that the defensive team is generating for the entire team? Creating the turnovers, what they call takeaways, and turning those into points for their team. That's why they have the lead, and that's got to be exciting for those guys on the defensive side of the ball.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. It's Christian Covington who notches the sack there.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. After the sack on first down, Darnold, that's complete. It's Bell. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Ryan Allen now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? He said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. Where the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
And now out come the Jets. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Second down and 10, Darnold. Hauled in by Anderson, left side. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 12 yards there and a first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Darnold completes it. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
To throw is Darnold. Flushed out right. They'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave them with 2nd and a yard. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw again on second down. Darnold hooking up over the middle with Herndon. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Darnold now to throw. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Come on.
Throwing again on second down. Darnold. Herndon hauls it in for the Jet touchdown. Chris Herndon, as the first half is winding down. And the Jets are able to close the gap just a bit.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. 15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. You sure you're ready for the third quarter? Need to use a bathroom or anything? All right, cool. Let's go. Not much has changed since we left you at halftime. The snow is still continuing to fall as we are back underway. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Christian Covington able to record his 5th sack of the season. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Darnold. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic.
They've got his man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Out to the right, he gets it to Lockett. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Here comes the ball.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. That catch good for 5. It's third down. Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit. And that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions. Even when you're taking some hits, sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that. I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Darnold. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 23 yards the pickup there. I love that play because in the snow you think run, run, run. Big passing play there.
And defenders hate it, especially in open space, because trying to come under control, break down, and make a tackle in the open field, difficult in normal conditions. And
Anderson loses the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
Playing in snow brings so many other factors into the game.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. On 1st down, Darnold. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And now off to the races down the right side. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. They'll look to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. And it's 2nd down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off. Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. With such little time. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball.